Guys, welcome to the Vlad Catcher Show, the #1 show for founders, execs, and entrepreneurs who are scaling their businesses. This video is presented by AI21 Labs, and we have an amazing interview for you today with its founder and CEO, Ori Goshen, about how he created and scaled the business. Ori, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Well, tell us, Ori, what's the origin story? How did AI21 Labs come about?
Yeah, so back in 2017, me and my co-founders, Yoav Shoam and Amnon Shashua, we joined forces to start AI21. And remember, 2017 was really the early days of modern AI as we know it. It was just the same month that actually the well-known paper, Attention is All You Need, was released. That was the paper that introduced the transformer architecture that is powering all the large language models and all the foundation models that we're seeing to date. But actually our view was that AI is, if you want to reach true, reliable, robust AI systems, you need to go beyond pure statistics. It means that doing like deep learning and neural net is necessary but not sufficient. You need to kind of complement it with more deterministic approach. And that's the reason why we started the company. We've seen deep learning applied in so many areas. Back then it was computer vision, like object recognition, and doing big data analytics application. And the predictive power seems very powerful. And it seemed like we can actually scale this technology, but it's still limited. And there are some types of computation that needs to be done deterministically. And so in many ways, the reason why we started the company back then is even more relevant today. Because if you think about these, LLM-based systems, they're great. It seems very powerful. They seem very powerful. They demonstrate a lot of capabilities. But to actually put them in production, to actually put them into mission-critical applications, you need to build a lot of deterministic code and software around it to actually make them useful. So again, that's kind of connecting the reason why we started the company and what we're doing these days.
And I believe you guys have several products. Can you tell us more about your products and how they help businesses?
Sure. So indeed, we have basically two product lines. One is called Jamba. It's our large language model. It's a Jamba model family. And what makes Jamba unique is its underlying architecture. So most of the large language models today are based on the transformer architecture that I mentioned earlier, which is really revolutionary. But the transformer architecture is very computationally expensive. We're seeing all these build-outs and all these massive compute investments that are now being done in order to support the rollout of these models. So I think as an industry, we're now seeking new types of architecture that are more computationally efficient. And Jamba is actually the first model that took a new architecture called Mamba that was published in early 2024 and scaled it up. The researchers that released the original Mamba work, that architecture, have done tremendous work, but it was only on very small models. So AI21 was the first company to really scale up the Mamba architecture, but also understanding its limitations in terms of the quality of the results on specific types of tasks, and combine it intelligently with the transformer architecture, hence Jamba, Joint Attention and Mamba. So we essentially created a model that is optimal in terms of architectural choice. And to kind of translate it into business terms, it means that you are, this model can, and this architecture can actually provide the same level of quality, but much more cost effectively. So the model itself, and let's say the same size of the model, can actually produce tokens in a faster and cheaper way than a pure transformer model. And that's a huge innovation. And companies are using this to deploy in a resource-constrained environment. So if they have their private data center or on-prem deployment, it obviously has GPUs. GPUs are great, but they really want to maximize the juice, the performance out of their cluster. They can use Jamba on their premises to get a much more cost-effective results. So that's our Jamba large language model. It's an open weights model, so people can use it, and it has a commercial license where essentially if you want to, as a large company, you want to use it for commercial purposes, you would be required to license the model. So that's our first product, our LLM, the Jamba family. Our second product is Maestro, which we're really excited about. It's an orchestration technology, a very innovative orchestration technology. And the idea is that there's not one model to rule them all. There are all types of models. They're good and they have different performance characteristics. And so that's kind of the setting. And the problem we're trying to solve with this orchestration technology is what we're seeing in the enterprise. What we're seeing in the enterprise is massive experimentation. Everybody is trying to build these agentic systems. Only few are actually succeeding to put them in production, especially for these mission-critical workflows where the cost of error is very high. So, if you're doing some automation of marketing or you're trying to generate creatives, then the cost of error is not that high, and you can gain a lot of benefits from existing technology. But if you're now trying to automate underwriting or compliance review or making critical decision, make financial analysis, cost of mistake is actually pretty. If you're 98% of the time right and 2% of the time wrong, then you're not in the game. So we've noticed that there's huge demand for these agentic workflows, but the technology is not there yet in terms of accuracy or the consistent reliability of these systems. And the orchestration technology, Maestro, that we built is designed to solve that problem and help the agent builders, the AI builders in the enterprise to create reliable AI systems at scale. So if you think about the amount of effort that is required today to actually optimize these systems. So let's say you take off-the-shelf model. Then you need to build a scaffolding around it. You need to optimize it. You need to find the right prompt. You need to configure it so it will optimize for a certain eval. And that's a very heavy lifting operation. A lot of enterprises don't have those skills. So we wanted to create an orchestration layer that abstracts all these complexities away, and that as an AI builder, you'll be able to specify the behavior of the agent in natural language. You'll be able to set the requirements, the things that the agent has to follow, and then let the orchestration layer deal with all the complexity, with all the tuning, with all the configuration selection, with all the model selection, with all the things that now builders are doing manually themselves. And essentially, the value is just to incredibly accelerate the time to production, to time to value. And so we work with some of the largest organizations and powering many of these mission-critical workflows with Maestro, our orchestration technology. We're very excited about it. We announced it earlier this year, and we released it as a generally available product back in September. We're seeing huge demand in the market for that solution, and we're just very excited about the technology and what it enables for businesses all around the world.
And what was the most difficult part of building the technology, Ori? Because it sounds quite complicated, actually. It doesn't seem like something, you could build an MVP in 2 weeks and get it out. Like, your tech sounds complicated.
You're absolutely right. We are a deep tech company. And if you look at our history, we've been building LLMs and AI systems for the past 8 years. And this is kind of deeply rooted in our DNA. And so if you look at the Jamba model, it was a very non-obvious decision and very risky one back at the time, because the architecture Transformer completely dominated the market. All the models known models were based on the Transformer architecture, and we took a risk, but it was an educated risk. Actually, after a lot of ablations and tests, we saw that this could be a competitive architecture. And in fact, in hindsight, we're seeing that a lot of the industry now is adopting that architecture. So IBM released that hybrid architecture model, Tencent, NVIDIA. All the large companies now are actually taking this Jamba architecture and creating their own models. So I think it was, in order to innovate and create these very high valuable technical assets, you need to take some technical risks. And that was, I think, the lesson learned from our Jamba endeavor. Maestro is also a deep tech product. There are a lot of different components and a lot of innovation going into knowing to orchestrate different models and different tools in the context of an enterprise. And we invested a lot in the last year and a half to build Maestro so it would be capable in doing and providing the value that it does.
And who's the ideal ICP who usually buys AI21 Labs and pushes it up in the organization?
We're working with large enterprises, so Global 2000 or large enterprises where the mission critical applications could really move the needle, and accuracy is an important consideration. So we work with companies from financial services and healthcare and energy, telecommunication, aerospace. So a lot of these critical industries are kind of our main target focus, and we go after the CIO, CDO, or now Chief AI officers. These are the executives that we interact with. Also, the developers, the actual AI builders within the organizations take a very important role because they're the ones who are driving the building blocks, the pieces of technology that they use in order to create those agentic systems. And if you think about it from a market perspective, the market kind of is split into two these days. If you look at agents for the enterprise, the first bucket is like an off-the-shelf products. So either in legal or customer service, there are plenty of offerings that are off the shelf. You can take them, you can somewhat customize it for your business. But then the second bucket is around custom agents, because some of these off the shelf are not necessarily fit in your specific organization and the way you work and the kind of differentiation you want to build, right? Because some of these agents, you want to You want to build them to create a differentiated value in the market. You're not going to get that from an off-the-shelf product. You need an agentic system that actually encapsulates some unique value from your data, from your workflow, from some type of application that you imagined. So we're playing in the second bucket of these custom agent systems that are typically driven by the organizations themselves. They have AI builders, or they use partners to build those AI systems, but ones that are highly suited for their business needs and can really move the needle for their business. I always say that these agentic systems should always look at what they could do from a top line or bottom line perspective. And these are the types of organizations, the ones that have that mindset. These are the types of organizations we're after.
And how did you guys come up with the name Ori? Because AI21 is a pretty awesome name. Like, I can't even forget it, right? AI21. How did you guys come up with this cool name?
Yeah, so AI21 stands for AI for the 21st century. We really try to reimagine kind of the next phase of AI, going from these pure statistical models to more comprehensive AI systems that provide guarantees that people can trust. I think trust is a key word, key term that we have in our mind. Like, we're going to delegate so much of the cognitive load into these AI systems. We need to make sure we can build robust AI systems that people can actually trust, and that they can trust they work autonomously, that they can trust that they work safely, that they actually follow through their instructions and aligned with the principles and core beliefs of people. So that all led us for coming up with the name AI for the 21st century, and the domain was available. So we said, that's great. We should just call it AI21.
What are some surprising lessons you learned while scaling this business?
Scaling this business was a very unique experience in the sense that it's a land formation era where the entire market is shaping up. So you're not operating. Typically, when you build a business, there's some, you know where you position yourself, and you may pivot the company, right? But it takes years to make market movements. In generative AI, it takes months. Yeah. Sometimes it takes weeks. Yeah. If you look at the last 2 to 3 years, the entire market, everything from the hardware to the model layer to the application layer, everything has evolved so rapidly and shaped, and there were such dramatic movements during that time. So I think I just think the most challenging part was to carry that uncertainty and to learn how to help your teammates actually deal with the uncertainty. Because uncertainty is probably the most the most challenging part for human beings. So how do you, as a leader and a team, constantly deal with the uncertainty in that very hectic market was one of the main challenges, and doing it while you're scaling, right? While you're growing the team and you're growing the business, and everything is shifting around you all the time.
And what do you think folks misunderstand about AI, Ori? Because AI is kind of new, right? It's huge, but it became huge in the last like several years. What do you see or you think that folks could potentially misunderstand about AI?
Yeah, I think there's the notion of, and I know there's a lot of debate around it, of AGI or ASI, like artificial general intelligence, or ASI, artificial super intelligence. I think these are very ill-defined terms, but I think people have a sense for what they mean, and I do think that there's a misconception about these systems and whether they're tools or they're creatures. And I think they're more, and I know it's kind of a philosophical debate, but they're more tools than creatures. I think there is kind of a thought that a fear from AI that it may take over, on the extreme side that it may take over, or less extreme side that it will create a lot of displacements and job losses. And I know there are a lot of risks and danger in the technology, and we as an industry, we should mitigate those. But I do think like the amount of human potential that is going to be unlocked by those AI systems is just more incredible than we can imagine. I think that's one of the misconceptions. And I think in the context of work, I actually think more jobs are going to be created, different jobs, but more jobs are going to be created. Because now as an enterprise, now as a company, with this AI, I can achieve much more. So I wouldn't be constrained or bounded by the amount of people I need to support my operations, but I would be able to do much more projects, much more achievements as a company. And I think human ambition is endless. And that's why I believe I'm actually on the optimistic side of the impact on this technology on employment and work. But I do recognize that there will be some jobs that will become irrelevant, and that may impact that will have impact on society. And I am aware of the other dangers of AI, like using AI for, if you think about malicious actors and what they can potentially achieve with this technology. But so I think we should have a very balanced view, the upsides of AI and the risks and downsides of AI, always and continuously assess the technology and where we're heading, and so I think that's like a lot of things these days, things are on the extreme side, and I think it's actually more balanced than people imagine.
Well, Ori, I'm so grateful that you came on the show, shared many of your interesting and fascinating business lessons, talked about your amazing product, AI21. Is there anything else you'd like to say to our viewers before we log off?
If you're an enterprise AI builder, just go to our website, AI21.com, check out Maestro. If you're interested in learning more and kind of accelerate the deployment of agents in your company, then please contact us. We'd be happy to help.
All right, Ori. Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.